Well, good morning and welcome back to Texas Traveler RC. It's a beautiful morning here in White House, Texas. We are going to get up over 100 today, so I'm trying to take advantage of the cool weather that we have this morning. Relatively cool. It's fairly humid and hot. We're continuing on with the Bingo Build in conjunction with Perky Plains RC and his Cloud Dancer build, which is also a kit that Ace manufactured off of a Fred Reese design from, I don't know if it was RCM magazine or Model Airplane News, but one of those magazines. This is the kind of the alternate to the Cloud Dancer, the Bingo, which was a Doc Mathews design. We're going to just keep on running with it. As you can see, we've got the wing halves down here, getting ready to join these together. We're going to have to block up one end, and we're going to go ahead and do a little bit more sanding. You can see we've got some gaps there and stuff like that, which it's not a big deal. If you think you're going to build two wing halves perfectly and get them just to be perfect right out of the gate, I don't want to be negative, but I don't expect that to happen. And this probably won't ever be exactly perfect, but we'll take it and flat sand it and get it as close as we can. And then weight this side down and block this side up and get some 30-minute epoxy between it. But for right now, I'm going to get out my long Dubro sander and just kind of flat sand down there. You don't want to make sure that you don't do any of this, that you're staying as flat as possible. And just sand on a little bit more, see if I can't get it to be just a little bit tighter fit, and we'll come back and see how that works out in a little bit. Well, I've done some sanding, and I think it definitely fits together tighter now. There's still some little gaps, but I'm going to go ahead and put some weight on this side. Just a little bit. We don't need to go crazy because we do have one side to the board. And we're going to kind of test fit what we need to do to block this side up over here. So all we got to do is like really slide this thing into place. Not quite there, right there. Go ahead and slide this down a little more. And we will have to add weights up here once we get this kind of where we want it. Still not quite there. I think that's going to be just about it. Well, this is an old camera, so I started out videoing and I didn't check how much time I had left, so we're starting over. I've weighted down this side of the wing, and I'm blocking up this side to get this to come together right. My sanding did tighten it up a fair bit. It's still got some spots, but nothing that sandpaper won't fix once we get this glued together. Once I get my glue on and I get these put together, then I'm going to have to, I'm just kind of showing you how I have this laid out. I'll have to kind of weight this side down as well to keep it all together, since I really can't clamp it and keep one side flat on the table or anything like that. I just block this end up at the angle we need to be at, and then just put some weights here in the center. I think you see how this is going to go together. So I'll work on this a little bit more, getting everything lined up and making sure that we don't have any huge gaps in the bottom or anything like that. And then just mix up some 30-minute epoxy. Take our epoxy brush and brush it on there. You don't have to be like a super thin layer. Matter of fact, it actually helps you to be a little thicker, just to fill in some of those voids and gaps that you're going to have. Not be able to get it just perfect, but I mean, this from where it is, it looks really good. I do wish that it had like a dihedral brace in there to kind of make it really lock together the way it's supposed to, but this just butt fits together, and then we're going to put 6 inches of fiberglass over the center. Anyway, I'll get that done. We'll come back. Well, here we go. The wing is joined. One side slipped down just a little bit. I don't think it'll be that huge of a deal, especially when we shape the leading edge. Be off in the center. Nobody's really going to see that. I don't think it'll affect the trim of the aircraft, just a little bit that it's off. But since we are joined, we're going to get into just a butt ton of sanding. We're going to have to go ahead and get our leading edge shaped up, which I'll make a template here in a second and show y'all how I do that, just to kind of keep it all the same. Then we're going to have a bunch of sanding here in the middle for our fiberglass to go over. I'm going to go ahead and work on my leading edge shaping template, and I'll get back with y'all and show you how I do that. So usually you can find somewhere on the plans where there's a good image of what your wingtip is supposed to look like, or something like that. I tend to try to find that usually somewhere where, like this is shown, where it goes into the fuselage if you're going to have floats. So I really don't need that, but it does give me the shape of what the leading edge needs to be like. So I'll just take and cut that out. So I'll just tack that down with some thin CA, which this is that Star Bond thin CA, and it's just, I'm having to like spread it manually because it didn't even hardly wicking through this paper, which it should just go through the paper straight into the balsa. But I'm trying to use up this thin and not just throw it away. Anyway, yeah, I'll just take my X-Acto knife and cut out this balsa, and then I'll go back around with some thin CA just to harden that up so I don't wind up breaking anything, and it becomes a good template as I go out the model. So I'm going to let this Star Bond sit here and soak in there, and cut that out, and then harden up around this with some thin CA, and I'll get back with you guys. So what we end up with after we make this template is several things. We've got the piece that we cut out. We've got this template, which you can see is rough, but really this is just to get us to a point where we can use, I've got some of these shaping blocks. I forget where I got this, but it has multiple different shapes, and there's 3 more that they go on down to much smaller than this, but this is good for leading edges, because I can take what I cut out and really fit that in there and go, hey, you know, this particular profile, or this one, or whatever. And I think this one's the best one here, just looking down through there trying to see if there's any light or anything, and of course none of this has to be exact, but it helps. So what I'll do is I'll bump down the leading edge with my little Stanley planer here until I get to where I'm close to this, and then I'll switch to using this, and I'll just shape my leading edge down both sides, and I try to make as quick work of this as possible. And because this used that half-inch square, and the way it's put in there, I really think that it's going to cut down a lot on the time that this normally takes when you just have like a normal square block set up on the front, and you have to do just a whole bunch of cutting and sanding. So I'm going to get on that and I'll show y'all how everything comes out when I'm done. Alright, so it's Sunday morning. We're back at it. The wings have been joined. We talked about that. I've done the initial shaping of the leading edge. There's more to do. You don't want to go all the way because you're going to be doing sanding here in the middle part and things of that nature. And I've gone ahead and done my base sanding to all my center section. I know that I'm going to be using some wood filler, and actually more wood filler than I think I've ever used before, probably because I haven't built in a long time like this. But you don't want to sand, like take it down to the finished sand if you know you're going to be using wood filler, because you want to leave room to be able to remove the material when you're feeling with you want to leave room for your sanding so you can even in your wood filler. I've got some spots. I got a little spot here where it cracked and kind of pushed in, that I was going to just take a little piece of balsa and put that in there and then even that out. But when I've gotten this close to sanding, I find that I think wood filler is going to be just fine in there. It's just a little spot, and then down along the center line we're going to have some up here at the leading edge. Definitely going to have some. You just kind of have to feel places after you've done like a little initial sanding that there's a little spot in here that's going to need some wood filler. And I haven't ever used this before. I used to use micro balloons or Hobbyco made we used to have like a white wood filler. I've read online that this works good, and it works good with covering. So I'm going to try this Elmer's because it's local. I'll treat it kind of like I do Bondo. Not that I'm a work in body shop with Bondo and stuff like that, but you know, we're going to put some in, and I use playing cards because they're like stupid cheap, and I'll use these in other places. I think this is an Uno deck from Dollar General that was on their dollar aisle or something. I got like, I don't know, 104 cards. It'll last me forever. But it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to go back and sand it. But I want to do that, and I don't know how long this takes to cure. Let's see here. Oh, 2 to 8 hours. So we may not get to fiberglassing today. Maybe later on tonight. Excuse me. So we may not get to fiberglassing today. Maybe later on tonight we can fiberglass one side. But once we get this all fiberglassed, I'm going to set this wing to the side and go ahead and work on the fuse. But I'm going to put this down, see how it goes, and I'll come back and show y'all the results before I go to do like a finished sand on it. Okay, so I've tried to apply this gap filler. I will say that I've had this for like a year, so maybe it's just old. I'm not impressed with it, and I'm not going to continue using it. I'm just having to fight it too much just to glop it in there like, I don't know, crap. I'm going to go on Amazon or online and see if I can find a better alternative. It comes out, I don't know about the consistency of a soft clay, and you really have to just work it in against these cracks to get it to do anything. And maybe, like I said, maybe I've just got an old bottle that sat in the heat and cold and stuff like that, and it's usually softer and more spreadable than this. But the experience I'm having, either I need a new container which I'm going to go and read up on this. Maybe that's the consistency it's supposed to be, or I need to use something else. Anyway, this will kind of, that's where we're going to end this week. This is not where I wanted to end. I wanted to end with this, with us, you know, done with the wing for right now so we could move on. But it is what it is, and while I'll accept some mediocre stuff here and there, this stuff in its current condition or state, which could be the normal state, just isn't worth working with, at least from my perspective. Anyway, all y'all have a great week. Men over 40, get a doctor's appointment, get your PSA checked. Even if your insurance doesn't cover it, I don't think it's that much to get it added into your normal blood work. Or at least it wasn't 6 years ago. I think it was like $60 6 years ago, and trust me, that $60 is worth it. Have a blessed week. Everybody stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.